Hi, Bridge of Hope family. We're just here to have a quick discussion on how we came up with our contributions over these next 3 years for the Bridge to a Better Tomorrow campaign. And so, Pastor, you want to start us out?
Sure. Before I go any further, let me just say that we are going for Duke in the NCAA championship. And my condolences to all the Tar Heels.
Come on now.
How did we as a family, okay, in the Reed household, Aileen and I, we came together and we looked at our budget over the last 2 years, our giving, and how much had we given historically to building fund, and then, okay, how much more is there room in our budget to give? Then we prayed and said, is there more we can? And so we looked at that, and through prayer, looking at the budget, looking at considering things we may be able to kind of give up, sacrifice over the next couple of years, whether it's coffee or something like that. And based on that, that's how we decided, that's how we came to our 3-year figure. And so we broke it up weekly, monthly, and what that figure would look like annually, and then over 3 years. And that's how we came to ours.
We had previously been given since, I think we talked about 2009, we moved in this building. So 2008, I believe we started our previous building campaign, and we've been given since 2008. We prayed about it, see if we could expound upon that. And the way Kate and I do it, we give a pretty good amount in offerings every week. We give our tithes, pay all that stuff, and we look for other situations around the church that we can help out with. And so we didn't want to strap ourselves too thin on not being able to help in some other situations. So we basically kept our pledge the same as it was, as what it has been. And that's pretty much how we came up with ours. We did talk about doing extra, but when you're looking around, you see some other needs, and we didn't want to strap ourselves too thin and not being able to help in some other places that we wanted to help out with. So
I do think one thing that's good to point out is that this is in addition to our regular giving, our tithes and our offering. So we're not, robbing from Peter to pay Paul. This is what can we give above what we're normally doing. So that's how your family came to yours. Yes. But in principle, it's the same thing. Our tithe stays the same. Our basic offering, let's say general expense or missions or what have you, that will stay what it's been. But what can we give beyond that?
Yeah, I think that's definitely good to point out. For my family, what we did was my wife and I came together and we considered, where are we on our budget? What can we fit? What can we possibly fit in our budget, our monthly budget, without, of course, taking away from any other giving that we're already doing towards the church or any other aspects of giving. And so what we did was we decided to go back and pray. We prayed together as a couple, but we also prayed individually, and we decided we'll come up with an amount individually and come together, and whichever amount was bigger, we'll go with that. It's just sometimes a scary thing to do, yeah. But we came back together and we, went with the bigger amount, and we figured we can fit that in our budget, and we are excited to give and give more than we have in the past to such a great cause.
Two things came to my mind. One, because all three of us are married, but it's different if you're single.
Sure.
And so I think we need to think in terms of that, as well as what happens when we're all speaking about budget. Mm-hmm. There's some who don't operate out of a budget at this time. We would encourage you to have a budget for the best interests of your family. But if you don't have a budget, then how do you determine how much you're going to give, or how do you figure that out?
Right. And so in those situations, we've been talking a lot, whether it was through the Living Generously lessons that went through the whole church, and also throughout the campaign. There's a vision. There's a reason why we want to build and create these classrooms for the children. And so it really comes down to sacrifice. So maybe you don't have a monthly budget, but you know how much you spend, or you know what you spend on a weekly basis. Maybe it's on coffee, or it's on the snack store down the street, right? Which I could probably relate to a lot. And so it's sacrifice. Maybe determining what you can sacrifice and how much that does cost over the course of weeks and months, and determine what you can give based on that. I think that's one approach.
And we just heard today that we're looking at $450,000 as a minimum goal for our pledge for this coming Sunday, for Commitment Sunday. And so when I looked at that figure, my wife and I have already given in our pledge, but now I'm rethinking, well, boy, that number is kind of up there, 450,000. And so now I'm rethinking, okay, is there any way that I can give more? And so one of the things that I've come to grips with, I don't think I can give more in year one. I think we've maxed out in our giving budget-wise for year one. But I think with adjustments, year 2 and 3, we can give above year one. And so I think Aileen and I have to talk more about this, but I think what we're probably going to do is make some adjustments in our second and third year. So we will probably rewrite our commitment card pledge and up that, but it won't be based, that funds won't come in immediately in year one. It'll probably come in year 2 or 3, but the pledge amount goes up. So, and the goal right now is a minimum pledge of 450,000. So it's not that the money has to come in now, but the pledge projection needs to come in now. Now for Reveal Sunday, our goal is to get 10% of what our total pledges are. So if we give 450,000, 500,000, then our goal for that First Fruit Sunday, Reveal Sunday, would be 50,000.
Yeah, that's one reason we kind of left ours where it was, so we would have room as it comes. Hey, if we have some extra this month or whatever we want to put to it, or the next year or two,
Absolutely.
then we have room to do that. Where if we pledge it and we're looking at, if we don't give it that month, then I feel bad, myself that I wasn't able to do it. Other thing is, also we had thought about, if you're wondering, gosh, what is everybody else giving? What's my friends giving? It kind of can be like a competition, or it can kind of be, well, maybe I'm not giving as much as my friends are, or my family, or whatever. It has nothing to do with nobody else.
Not competition.
You got to pray.
Exactly.
You got to find out what's best for your family, and what's going to be good for you, whether you're single or whether it's your family. You start on your knees in prayer, and then come up with a good plan for that. But don't worry about what anybody else is giving, because you may be given less, you may be given more, but the Lord can bless the little amount as much as He's going to bless the bigger amount. So it really don't matter. So.
We have a phrase, it's not equal giving, it's equal sacrifice.
Right.
And so we may not all give the same amount, but we all want to sacrifice the same. And what that sacrifice looks like in your family may look different in mine.
Exactly.
But we both want to have a clear conscience that, Lord, wherever we came to, we just feel peace before you that it was a sacrifice worthy of your name.
I don't know what your way of determining it will be, but ultimately, most of all, definitely go to God in prayer. Definitely go to God and ask Him. Ask Him what you want to give. And you can start off at a certain amount per year for the first year, and then even increase it over the next 2 years, and come up with that total commitment as well.
That's our suggestion for how to consider giving towards your commitment pledge. God bless. Go Blue Devils.
Hey.
Carolina.